Hello, friends, and welcome back. You are most welcome once again to this session where I am going to pick another book today. And with the help of infographics, I am going to share the key learnings, the key insight of that book with you in a short span of 10 minutes. I am sure you liked the last video which I had shared with you. And based upon the response which I received from you all, I got the encouragement. And today I am going to share with you my key insights, takeaways for book number 2, which is none other than the best-selling book by Daniel Goleman, which is about emotional intelligence. So I'm sure some of you would have read it and some of you won't. Emotional intelligence is a very contemporary topic. The book was published by Daniel Goleman in the 1990s, and from there on there was a renewed interest in this subject of emotional intelligence. So without wasting any much time, let's get started. Yes, and once again, before we move towards the learning part, if you are new to the channel, if you are watching this video and you have arrived on my channel for the first time, I would appreciate if you can just hit on the subscribe button and also press the bell icon so that you get notifications. Just to remind you, this is a series of 50 bestsellers where I am going to share with you my key takeaways and learnings of the 50 bestseller books of all time. And in case you haven't watched the episode 1 where I decoded and shared my key insights on 7 habits of highly effective people by Stephen Covey, you can go and watch this video. It's in the same playlist. Right, now let's get started and let me share my screen with you. Okay, so yeah, here it comes. I'm sure you can see my screen. So now let's talk about the 3 traits which are essential for emotional intelligence. The number 1 trait is skill. See, emotional intelligence is a skill. It is the ability to recognize and manage your emotions. It helps you in guiding your thoughts, decisions, and behavior. Essentially, we see two kind of people. One, who are very, very emotionally dry. That means people who don't really have emotions coming into play when it comes to taking decisions, and they are going through their work life or professional life. And at the same time, we come across people who are very, very emotionally volatile. Now those are the two extremes in today's era and today's times, whether it is your work life or it is your personal life. To really succeed in managing relationship with the people, you need to be emotionally intelligent, which is an skill. Emotional intelligence means guiding your emotion in a way so that they are able to further your prospect. They help you in moving forward and not really become an obstruction. That's why the number 1 trait of emotional intelligence is the skill. Number 2 is feeling. Without management of your feeling, because essentially emotions are what we feel within us. Without management of feelings, we become prone to destructive behaviors. Why we are saying destructive behaviors? Because when we are very emotionally charged, and usually it happens when we are overpowered by negative emotions, we tend to fall in a state of destruction where we tend to harm ourselves, or in certain cases we may harm others as well. Many times when I'm coaching my clients, I can see that when they start their journeys, most of them are either in a below average or destructive kind of a state, which is essentially the key reason why they feel stuck, why they don't feel to be moving forward in their lives. Trait number 3 is brain. The exchange between the rational brain and the emotional brain helps manage your feelings. There, as I stated earlier, mostly we find two extremes in our interaction with people. Some who are very, very rationally driven, which at some point of time, even I was. Rational people are more logic driven and less driven by emotions. So that's one extreme. And the second is who are very, very emotionally volatile, where logic doesn't really comes into play. Now, this part plays a key role when it comes to making decisions. So basically, a fine balance between the logical and the emotional brain is required to attain emotional intelligence. So these are the three key traits. Now let's look at the positive and negative effects of the emotions. The emotions can be helpful uh, when it comes to understanding people. So if people who are really emotional are able to understand and connect with people a little easily, because they are able to interpret their feelings, they are able to empathize more, and they are able to care more. However, the negative side of the emotion can hurt us, because many a times people take advantage of this kind of behavior, where you tend to be very carried away when you come in contact with some person. You tend to overdo things, expecting the same thing in return, which many a times may not be possible. So emotions can hurt us when our feelings can cause us to make irrational decisions that may lead to regret. Now, how can we really teach emotional intelligence? Now, parents and children affect the emotional intelligence of each other. So that's a to and fro process. When the parent is interacting with the child and the child is interacting with the parent, they both impact the emotional intelligence of each other. Tutors and parents can cooperate to give feedback in a constructive way, and commending the children for their efforts interprets and regulates their emotions. Essentially, what we are saying, what isn't good in case of a parent and a child relationship is just rebuking the child or scolding the child for every little mistake. That's not going to do any good, and we have numerous examples where this has been observed. At the same time, if a restraint is not observed, the guidance is not given to the child may really turn out to be brat. So handling the emotions in a way where child is really directed in the right manner, so that he or she is able to understand what's right for him or her, holds the key when it comes to teaching emotional intelligence to kids. Now let's move on and see some of the insights that we get from this book for emotional intelligence. So the 8 insights that we get from this book are: number 1, the secret of positive leadership. Now the ability to manage emotions enables you to lead people to achieve towards a common goal. Gone are the days when you could write everyone in your team with a single stick, or the same kind of methodology or plan work for everyone. Over a period of years, people have realized that when you are in a work environment, especially when you are working with diverse teams, you have to understand the emotions of the individuals. Unless the emotions are understood, unless the emotions are given due importance, you can't really work with people by suppressing their emotions. Some way it comes out, which is not really which is not really constructive towards the achievement of a common goal. Number 2, emotional skills improve our life. Developing healthy mind habits encourages positive thinking. Positive thinking produces positive feelings, and positive feelings leads to positive action. So if you see, it's all interconnected, because once you are able to generate more of positive emotions in your mind, in your heart, that really leads to positive thinking. You'll start looking at the things much more in a constructive way, so that you are able to progress much better. Insight number 3, emotional intelligence supports your health. Goes without saying, if you are experiencing more of positive emotions, if you are in a state where you are emotionally intelligent to use your emotion, harness your emotions to further your prospect, it impacts not only your mental health, but it also helps in improving your physiological or physical health. Actions are driven by feelings. Our feelings can cause us to act without allowing our rational brain to interpret the situation properly. So once I was talking to one of my coaching clients. That person was going through depression. He had tried to commit suicide and also tried to harm himself on multiple occasions. Now that's an example where person is really emotionally charged, driven by feelings, and in such a state, the negative emotions directed him to take negative actions, the destructive kind of actions. So, the idea is to reach in a state where instead of negative emotions like depression, anxiety, or stress or worry coming your way, you are able to transition to positive emotions where you feel happy, elated, you have feeling of pleasure, joy. That really enables you to take positive actions where you can look forward to the steps that can help you in moving further. So that's the insight number 4. Let's now talk about the insight number 5, which is go away from heated argument. See, there is a saying by Peter Drucker, which goes something like this: culture eats strategy for breakfast. Essentially, meaning your external environment has the tendency to overpower you. So, no matter how positive person you are, no matter how much you have worked on yourself, if you are in a toxic environment, if you are in a state where there are heated arguments happening, it makes sense to stay away or move out from that scenario so that you are able to shield yourself, you are able to shield your emotional state from going down. So that's this insight number 5, which is go away from heated argument. 6, learn empathy from others. Once we are able to understand, assess our emotions, it also acts as a guiding factor and a guiding light that allows us to empathize with others. So the journey of emotional intelligence begins with self and then reaches out to others, where we are able to learn and empathize with others. We are able to understand what kind of emotion they are experiencing, and accordingly we should be able to shape our behavior. Insight number 7, which is teach children to cope with failure. Now that's something very, very important, especially for the children in the growing up years, those who have only seen success, never failed in life till the time they hit the rock bottom or hit some hurdle in professional life. It gets difficult for people to manage failure. So from the childhood, people, children should be trained how to take failures in their stride and really continue to move on. And last but not the least, which is insight number 8, manage the emotional health. Your social life will receive a boost when you show genuine interest in others. Pay attention to their words, actions, respond to difficult situations positively. Essentially, meaning once you are able to connect with others by paying attention to them, what is it that they are saying, what are they feeling, you are able to relate more to them. And at some point, you will also receive the similar kind of attention, which leads to a win-win situation. So these are the 8 key insights which we get from this book, Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. And apart from that, we also discussed the 3 traits of emotional intelligence and how positive and negative emotions can hurt us or benefit us. So that was my summary in the form of an infographic for you. I hope you like this particular video and the summary. I would be looking forward to your feedback in the comment section, and I will be back soon with another book and another infographic summary for you. Till then, stay connected. God bless, take care, and bye-bye.